Magandang araw po. Ngayon po, amin naman pong tatalakayin ang nayata sa amin na The Unpacking Curriculum Standards and Competencies. This chapter, Unpacking Curriculum Standards and Competencies, which is one of the essential tasks of teachers in implementing the basic education curriculum. In this chapter, we will discuss the process for unpacking curriculum, standards, and competencies, and identifying the appropriate instructional strategies and assessment tools. Here are my group mates, Ms. Campoy, Ms. Dumawat, Ms. Pakliwan, and yours truly. The question is, what is curriculum standards? Sabi rito, curriculum standards are broad statement of what students need to know and do as a result of learning. Na nangahulugang, ito ay kung ano ang dapat malaman at gagawin na resulta ng pag-aral ng isang mag-aral. In the K-12 curriculum standards, it is classified into three. The first one is the content standards. Identify and set the essential knowledge and understanding that should be learned by the students. Kailangan tukuyin kung ano ang dapat matutunan ng mga mag-aral. Ikalawa, performance standards. Describe the abilities and skills that learners are expected to demonstrate in relation to the content standards and integration of 21st century skills, wherein alamin ang kasanayang inaasahang maipamalas ng mga mag-aral upang matulungan pa sila sa kakulangan o dapat pang ma-improve nila. Panghuli ay ang learning competencies. It refers to the knowledge, skills, and understanding that learners need to demonstrate in every lesson or activities. Dito naman po ay sa kaalaman, kasanayan paunawang kailangang ipakita ng mga mag-aral sa bawat aralin o mga inaasahan pagkatapos ng bawat aralin. As we can see in our module, there's a lot of example na maaaring makita po natin kung ano ang pagkakaiba ng mga ito. This one is one of the example of content standards, performance standards, and learning competencies in the K-12 curriculum. Kung saan may subdomain, content standards, performance standards, learning competencies, code, and the learning materials. Kung saan dito sa baba ng subdomain, may life sciences and the senses. Sa content standards naman, body parts and their uses. Sa performance standards naman po, take care of oneself and the environment and able to solve problems encountered within the content of everyday living. In learning competencies, nakasad naman dito, identify one's basic body parts. Ikalawa, tell the function of each basic parts. Ikatlo, demonstrate movements using the different body parts and the name the five senses and their corresponding body parts. At pagkatapos po nito ay may code na makikita naman po sa ating learning competencies.
Dumako naman tayo dito sa step for unpacking curriculum standards and competencies. Step 1, classify standards as knowledge, skills, and values. Una, knowledge, if the learning competency calls for remembering and basis comprehension of a concept of a skill. Ang learning competencies daw ang nagiging batayan na nagagamit upang mas malalim ang pagkatuto at pagkaunawa ng mga mag-aaral. Ang halimbawa nito ay discuss the different forms of government, analyze the importance of water for living organisms. Next, skill. If the learning competencies for the learner to demonstrate or apply a skill or desired behavior. Hindi lamang tungkol sa kaalaman, ito rin ay nagbibigay daan sa mga mag-aaral na maipakita ang kanilang kakayahan na magamit ang praktikal na karanasan sa pang-araw-araw na buhay. At ang halimbawa nito na dito ay calculate cost of product, plan a menu, solve word problem. At next, values. If the learning competency calls for valuing and appreciation. Sa values, ito ay naglalayong maipakita ang pagpapahalaga sa mga iba't ibang aspeto ng buhay. Halimbawa, appreciate various forms of literatures, recognize the importance of cooperations and unity in achieving goals, and respect different symbols of the country. Step 2. Identify the prerequisite knowledge, skills, and values for each learning competencies. Sa bawat learning competency ay mayroong mga pangunahing kaalaman, kasanayan, at mga halaga na kinakailangan upang maisakatuparan ito ng maayos. Halimbawa, describe changes in materials based on the effect of temperature, solid to liquid, liquid to gas. Before the students can actually describe the changes in materials based on the effect of temperature, they should be able to do the following. Describe the temperature as hot or cold, or observe the effect of temperature on the material. Step 3. Look for desired skills or behavior on every competency. Identify the most suitable activity for each desirable behavior. Dito, dapat tukuyin ang pinakaangkop na aktibidad para sa mga mag-aral na ito ay nagpapakita ng kanais-nais na pag-uugali. Halimbawa, create craft that can be locally assembled with local materials guided by local traditional techniques. Next, the desired behavior or skill in this learning competency is for students to create craft assembled with local material guided by local traditional techniques. At narito ang mga inaasahang gawain ng mga mag-aral, lecture workshop, and project-based approach. Ito ay individual or group project. Step 4. Classify learning competencies to determine appropriate assessment tools. This process is based on the work lesson 1998. Una, standards with conventional testing or SCT. These are learning competencies that require traditional assessment tools like quizzes and exams. Ito yung paraan upang malaman ang kakayahan ng mga mag-aaral. Ito ay sa pamamagitan ng traditional na ginagawa ng mga guro. Ito ay quizzes at mga exams. At narito ang mga halimbawa. Describe the characteristics of sounds, identify primary colors, discuss the judicial system in the Philippines, and explain different communication model. Next, standards with performance tasks or SPT. These learning competencies that require the performance tasks for assessment or authentic assessment. Ito yung gawain o ginagawa upang suriin ang kaalaman at kakayahan o mga kasanayan ng mga mag-aaral. At halimbawa ng standards with performance tasks is perform examples of Philippine folk dance. Write an essay about selected topics or demonstrate how to dissect an insect or paint using natural and indigenous materials. Next is Standards for Continuing Development or SCD. These are competencies that focus on values and attitudes that cannot be assessed. Dito sa SCD, dito nakafocus on values and attitudes that cannot be assessed. Ang halimbawa nito ay recognize basic human rights of a person. Dapat matutong alamin ang mga kaalaman ng ibang tao. And next, appreciate the role of mathematics in every life. And next, development healthy eating habits. And last, respect different cultural practices.
And proceed to the next topic. Other techniques for unpacking curriculum standards and competencies. So, unpacking curriculum standards and competencies involves breaking them down into smaller competence to better understand and implement them in the teaching and learning process. Una dito ay ang create, ikalawa, evaluate and analyze, applying and understand, and the last one is remember. So sa create, this technique involves creating new knowledge or products based on the curriculum standards and competencies. Students are encouraged to use their creativity and critical thinking skills to develop original ideas, solutions, or projects that demonstrates their understanding of the standards and competencies. At dito naman sa evaluate, um, uh, it refers to the process of assessing or judging the quality, effectiveness, or values of something. In the context of curriculum, standards, and competencies, this technique involves assessing students' performance, understanding, or mastery of the standards and competencies. And it may include various assessment methods such as test, projects, and presentation or portfolios. Next is analyze. Analyze requires breaking down complex information or concepts into smaller parts to understand their relationships, patterns, or underlying principles. When unpacking curriculum standards and competencies, these techniques involves examining the components, skills, or knowledge embedded within the standards and competencies to identify the key elements that need to be taught and assessed. Next is apply. So, applying involves using knowledge, skills, and concept in practical or real-world situations. When unpacking curriculum standards and competencies, these techniques focuses on identifying opportunities for students to apply their learning in authentic contexts. It may involve problem solving, decision making, or hand-on activities that require students to transfer their knowledge and skills to new situations. And understand, it involves comprehending or grasping the meaning, significance, or implications of something. When unpacking curriculum standards and competencies, these techniques emphasize the development of deep understanding and conceptual knowledge. It involves clarifying the key concepts, principles, or theories embedded within the standards and competencies to ensure the student's comprehension. And the last one is remember. Uh, Remembering refers to the ability to recall or retrieve information for memory. In the context of curriculum, curriculum standards and competencies, these techniques focuses in ensuring students retain the essential knowledge, facts or procedures outlined in the standards and competencies. It may also strategies such as recitation or retrieval practice to enhance students' memory retention. So, these techniques of um, unpacking curriculum standards and competencies, it provides educators with a framework for effectively implementing and assessing the intended learning outcomes. By breaking down the standards and competencies into manageable components, teachers can design instruction and assessment strategies that promote meaningful learning and student achievements. Uh, so next is Bloom's taxonomy for affective objectives. Bloom's taxonomy is a framework that classifies education objectives into different levels of cognitive complexity. However, in addition to cognitive objectives, Bloom's taxonomy also includes a category for affective objectives. Affective objectives focus on a develop of attitudes, beliefs, values, and emotions in learnings. Nandito unang-una ay ang internalizing valuing. Internalizing valuing, these categories represent the highest level of the affective domain. Internalizing values involves the full integration of values into one's personality and behaviors. Learners at this level not only prioritize and organize their values but also act consistently in accordance with those values. They demonstrate a genuine commitment to their values and exhibit behaviors that align with their beliefs. For example, students actively engaging in community service activities to support causes they deeply believe in. And next is organizing. Organizing involves the integration and internalization of values into a consistent belief system. Learners at this level begin to prioritize and organize their attitudes, beliefs, and values based on their personal understanding and experiences. They establish a coherent system of values that guides their behavior and decision making. For example, students developing a personal code of ethics and using it to guide their action. And next one is valuing. Valuing is refers to the stage where learners attach worth or importance to certain attitude, beliefs, or values. At this level, learners begin to develop a personal connection or commitment to the information or topic. They start to recognize the significance or relevance of the attitudes or values being presented. And For example, a student recognizing the importance of um, environmental conservation and actively advocating for it. And the next one is responding. The responding category involves the actively participating or responding to stimuli or information. Learners at this level demonstrate a willingness to actively engage with the information, express their opinions, or ask questions. They show a basic level of interest or engagement when the topic. For example, a student participating in class decisions or sharing their thoughts on a given topic. And the last one is receiving. This category represents the lowest level of the affective domain. It involves being aware of, willing to listen to, or attending to certain stimuli or information. At this level, learners passively receive or acknowledge information without necessarily showing any change in attitudes or belief. For example, a student receiving feedback from a teacher or listening to a guest speaker. Yan. Um, so the affective domain categories in Bloom's taxonomy provide educators with a framework for designing instructional strategies and assessments that promotes the development of attitudes, beliefs, and values in learners. By addressing the affective domain, educators can foster holistic growth and cultivate learners who are not only knowledgeable but also compassionate, empathic, and responsible individuals. So, and the next one, taxonomy for skills-based objectives. So the taxonomy for skill-based objectives is a framework that classify education objectives related to the development of skills and abilities in learn. It provides a hier- hierarchical structure for understanding the progression of skills from basic to more complex levels. Number one is perception. So the perception represents the lowest level of skills-based taxonomy. At this level, learners demonstrate the ability to use their senses to recognize and interpret stimuli or information. It involves the identification and awareness of basic element or pattern. For example, a learner perceiving and differentiating between colors or shape. And the next one is set. The set level involves the readiness to act or respond to a stimulus. Learners at the level demonstrate preparedness or mental set to engage in a particular skill or activity. It includes the ability to follow instruction and understand the requirements of a task. For example, a learner preparing the necessary materials and tools before starting hand-on activities. Next is guided response. Guided response refers to the imitation or replication for a demonstrated skills or behaviors. At this level, learners can perform as a skill with assistance, guidance, or prompts from others. They follow a set of predefined steps or procedures to complete a task. For example, a learner following a recipe or instruction to cook a dish. And next one is mechanism. The mechanism level involves the ability to perform a skills or behavior without assistance or guidance. Learners and this level demonstrate a high level or proficiency and can execute a skill independently. It includes the coordination of multiple steps or action to achieve a desired outcome. For example, a learner playing a musical instrument and or performing a complex dance routine. And next one is adaptation. Adaptation refers to the ability to modify or adjust a skill or behavior based on different circumstances or situations. At this level, learners can apply their skills flexibly and adapt them to varying contexts or challenges. It involves from problem solving, decision making, and adjusting to strategies as needed. For example, a learning modifying a recipe to accommodate dietary restrictions or improvising a solution to a problem. And the last one is organization or I know origination. Origination represents the highest level of skills-based taxonomy. At this level, learners demonstrate the ability to create and invent new skills, behavior, or solutions. They go beyond the application and adaptation or existing skills and contribute to the development or new ideas approaches. For example, a learning designing a new product or developing a novel solution to complex the problem. So the taxonomy for skill-based objectives provides educator with a framework for designing instructional strategies and assessments that promote the development and progression of skills in learning. By addressing the different level of the taxonomy, educators can scaffold learning experience and support learners in acquiring and refining a wide range of skill and abilities. And the last is Fink's taxonomy of significant learning. So this is a framework that focuses on the various types of significant learning experiences that can occur in educational settings. It provides a structure for designing and assessing learning outcomes that go beyond simple content acquisition. So the first one is foundational knowledge. Foundational knowledge refers to the acquisition of fundamental concepts, theories, principles, or facts relevant to a particular subject or discipline. It involves building a solid understanding of the core content or information that serves as the basis or further learning. This level focuses on the acquisition of essential knowledge and understanding. And next one is application. This involves the ability to use acquired knowledge and skills in practical or real-world contexts. It goes beyond rote memorization and requires learners to apply their knowledge to solve problems, analyze situations, or make information decisions. This level, this is so these levels emphasize their practical applications of knowledge to demonstrate competence and skills. The next one is integration. This refers to the ability to connect and synthesize different ideas, concepts, or perspective from multiple sources of or disciplines. It involves making connection between previously learned information and new context, as we as we as well as recognizing relationships and patterns. This level recognizes their learners to think critically, make connections, and develop a holistic understanding of the subject matter. Next is human dimension. Human dimension level focus on the development of personal and interpersonal skills, attitudes, and values. It involves understanding oneself and others, developing empathy, and cultivating interpersonal relationships. This level emphasizes the development of social and emotional intelligence, cultural competence, and ethical awareness. And next is carrying. This refers to the development of a sense of personal responsibility, empathy, and care for others. It involves recognizing the impact of one's actions on others and the larger community. This level encourages the learner to become socially responsible citizens and to actively com- contribute to the well-being of others and society as um as a whole. And the last one is learning how to learn. Learning how to learn is a metacognitive level that focuses on developing strategies, skills for lifelong learning. It involves acquiring the ability to set goals, monitor progress, reflect on one's learning, and adapt learning strategies as needed. This level emphasizes the development of self-directed and self-regulated learners. So, Fink taxonomy of significant learning is provide a comprehensive framework for designing instructional strategies, assessment, and learning experience that promote deep and meaningful learning. By addressing the different level of taxonomy, educators can foster a range of learning outcomes that go beyond mere content mastery and empower learners to become critical thinkers, problem solvers, and lifelong learners.